Happy Thursday. It's time for a new letter. I wonder what letter we're going to learn today. Well, good thing we have my mystery box to help us learn, but ooh, it's heavy today. I wonder what's inside of it. Let's see. A rose. Oh, it smells so nice. Some ramen. A ring. Maybe I should wear it. The color red. That's pretty. And whew, the heaviest thing, some rice. I wonder what rice, ramen, red, rose, and ring all have in common. I know. It's the letter R. And look, there's a rabbit on top here too. So that starts with the letter R too. How cool is that? Well, it's time to put this away so we can figure out how to write the letter R, okay? Let's put this away. Go back in. Here we go. Okay, Jen, careful. It's heavy. Heavy. Okay, and here is our letter R. Now, whoops, there we go. We have a big R and a little r. Do you know why we have a big R and a little r? Remember, we have a big letter for the start of people's names or places, and we have the little r for the start of sentences, and the little r for everything else. So some people might have a name like Rachel or Richard, and they would have their name start with a big R. And Richard has an R in his name, so he'd need a little r too. How cool. So big R and little r, they don't quite look the same, but that's okay. Let's work on our big R. It kind of reminds me of the letter P, which we learned earlier. But let's see how we're going to write it today. You ready? We're going to start at the top. We're going to do straight line down. We're going to come back to the top, do a belly on top, and then we're going to slide down the mountain to give it a leg so it can stand. Kind of like our K. Huh. It reminds me of the P and the K combined. That's kind of cool. Well, let's try this again. Ready? Straight line down, belly on top, slide down the mountain to give it a leg. Let's do it one more time. Straight line down, belly on top, slide down the mountain to give it a leg. Pretty easy, right? Now let's look at our little r. It's a little kind of crazy, but I think we can handle it. Let's start up top. We're going to do a straight line down. We're going to come back up towards top, and we're going to do a small rainbow. Small rainbow. We don't want to do a full one. If we do a full one, that's an N. So we only do a small one, okay? So let's try again. Straight line down, come back to the top, small rainbow. One more time. Straight line down, back to the top, small rainbow. Wait a minute. Rainbow? That also starts with R. Wow, how cool is that? So now we've seen what R's look like. We know how to write them. So now it must be time for the sound. Now what I like to do to help me remember what sound R makes, I like to put my hands on my hips and I like to try and pretend I get mad. Because R says, "Rrr." Can you do that with me? Put your hands on your hips, make a mad face and go, "Rrr." Okay, let's try it one more time. Ready? "Rrr." Okay, now we're going to do it in our song. Ready? Remember, the song goes like this. R says, okay? But you got to help me sing the entire song. You ready? R says, R says, R says, R says, Good. So now we know what our R's look like. We've written them. We know the sound. It must be time for our activity. Well, for our activity, we're going to use these R's. We're going to have them cut out, and we're going to need some construction paper, or you can have regular paper, and you can just color the background and the R's. But we're also going to need some glue and scissors. So you go get those things, and I'll go get my things, and we'll meet right back here. Okay, so I've got all my things, and I forgot to tell you guys are going to need some cotton balls too. But I want to show you what we're going to make. So we've got our big R, so we're going to make a cloud with some rain. So it's a rain cloud with rain. Rain cloud and rain both start with R. And look at my little R over here. It's a rocket. So I put mine on a black paper so we can see it better. And because I thought it'd be kind of cool to have the rocket going into space. So I can draw stars around it later. And a rain cloud and a storm. So maybe I can make the clouds a little darker too with some marker later. But you guys can color your things first before we cut them out. But I've already cut mine out, but I wanted to show you a special little trick because I cut out the middle of my R, just this little part here. So what you can do to help cut it, let me get my scissors ready. You fold it a little bit and then I'm gonna cut right in the middle where I'm gonna cut things out. Boop. So I've got a little hole there. So now I can poke my scissors through the hole. Whoop. Gotta be careful though because we don't wanna cut ourselves. And then I'm gonna carefully cut to the edge and then just cut around that black, okay? So you're just gonna cut around the black edge. And I'm taking my time, and you can see it, I didn't quite fully stay on the edge when I was cutting out my R earlier, and that's okay. You just wanna try your best, okay? And if you don't wanna cut out the middle, you don't have to either. I just wanna show you a way to do it if you wanted to, okay? So I'm gonna put that to the side because that's my trash. So for my colors, I wanted to choose red, orange, and blue. But first, let's glue our R's onto the paper so we know where to put them, okay? Let me move my big project. So here's my R, my big R. I'm gonna put a little bit of glue in the middle. You guys, oops, might help if I open it. You guys can, if you're using glue stick, can put it on the edge. If you're using glue bottle like me, just a little bit in the middle. See, I know it's hard to see the clear glue that I'm using, but I'm not putting a lot. Just enough to help it stick to the paper, okay? And I want to be careful because I don't want it too much, otherwise my fingers are going to get really, really sticky and that'll be harder for our project later. So I'm going to take it and I'm going to glue it so, like this. That way I know it's the right side standing up, okay? Now see, I didn't do a great job of cutting on my R out here, but it's okay. I tried my best. And I want you to try your best too. So now I'm going to put some glue on that one too, okay? Just a little bit of glue. And now I'm going to put it right next to my big R. And you want to make sure it's going so you've got that both have the straight lines down and then the small rainbow. If you have it the other way, it's upside down. We can't do it upside down. Now, I wanted to start with my big R. So what I needed to do was I took my blue construction paper and I cut just a big strip down. Not very wide, but just a long strip, okay? I started with that. And then I cut into smaller, either squares or rectangles, just smaller pieces, okay? So make sure you're being careful, not cutting your fingers, only cutting the paper, not your clothes, not your hair. Mom and Dad don't want you to give yourselves a haircut. They're not ready for that yet, okay guys? Just the paper. So now I've got lots of little papers. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and cut a raindrop. So it's kind of pointed at one end and then curved at the bottom. So it's almost like an oval. So if you guys want to cut an oval, you can do that too. So I start at the top in the middle and I curve around. And I try and make a tip at the top. Ta-da! So there's one. And I can even make it smaller if I want to. Or I can try, I'll show you guys how to make an oval. Ready? You're just going to kind of curve around the edge of your paper. And just hold it and curve. Just keep curving. On the straight part, on the long part, you want to go straight, and then you kind of curve at the end. So there's a long one. And you can make it thinner by cutting it again. Or you can leave it big. It's your choice, okay? Because this is your project. So there is my littler oval, okay? So I've got 2 raindrops. I'm going to make 2 more, and then I'm going to glue them, okay? So let's make 2 more raindrops. So I'm going to start at the top, kind of curve around. This time I'm going to try and make it a little bit smaller though. See how that works. So maybe not using all the paper this time. Oopsies. And it's okay if your paper flies away from you like it did for me. You just pick it up and you keep going, okay? Now that one's a little misshapen, and that's okay. It all works, because not all raindrops are the same, not all snowflakes are the same, not all projects are the same, okay? So even if yours doesn't look like mine, As long as you tried your best, that's all I'm gonna ask. And here's one more small one. I'm gonna glue another small one there. So now it's time for me to get my glue, okay? I'm gonna get a little bit of glue on each, just in the middle, because I don't wanna get my fingers too sticky. And then I put it back on my arm. You can have them facing whatever direction you like. You can have it going this way, you can have it going this way, but you want it on your R's because we're gonna cover it. We wanna make sure we know that the R stood for rain and raindrop. There we go. And then one more. There's my raindrops done. Now we need the cloud. What you're gonna do, whoops, got my trash there. You're gonna take your cotton ball and you're gonna pull it apart, little by little. You don't need it super little, but you wanna make sure that it becomes fluffy, okay? So for this part, you're just gonna put a little bit of glue at a time in one area. So I'm gonna start here as part of my up and down, right? My big stick down. And I'm gonna carefully lay the cotton ball that I tore apart on top. I'm not using all of it, I'm just using enough to kind of cover the glue so my fingers aren't sticky and just so I can kind of see where it goes. Then I'm going to do another section, okay? Putting more glue down, a little more cotton, and if I ran out of cotton, it's okay, I've got another cotton ball and I can always add more glue. So remember, you're tearing it apart just enough to make it kind of fluffy looking, because clouds are kind of fluffy looking, right? And then just a little bit of glue at a time. So maybe just that little section there. Put my cotton ball down. And a little bit of glue. And there's my cotton. And ta-da! My rain cloud and my raindrops are done. So now it's time to make our little R a rocket. So for that one, I need my orange and I need my red. So here's my orange. And just like I did with the blue, I'm gonna cut one big long piece, okay? Whoops, I dropped some in my trash. There we go. And then I'm gonna cut that into squares, okay? So I want you to try your best to cut it into a square. Parents, if your child needs help, you can always draw these shapes for them. So the top of my rocket, I'm gonna make into a triangle. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut from one corner up to the middle, and then from the other corner up to the middle, okay? So I'm gonna take my scissors, and I'm gonna go up to the corner, or up to the middle. I'm gonna try that with the other side, so I flip it over, and ta-da! There is my triangle. So now I'm going to take a little bit of glue, put it on my triangle, and because it's the top of my rocket, I'm going to put it right here. So it sits right there. Now the rocket has fins on the sides and on its back, so we're going to cut some rectangles out, okay? You can make them into, or you can cut longer triangles, but I like using rectangles. So I'm just going to use these two rectangles, and I'm going to put them on the sides. They're not quite even, and that's okay. I like them. And that's what matters, is that I like my project. I want you guys to like your project too, okay? So we're going to glue it here on the side. And then just a little bit of glue, because you don't want your fingers getting too sticky. I'm going to glue that on that side. Now we need one in the middle. So I'm going to start by cutting a small rectangle from one of my squares. And then maybe I don't want it so long. Maybe I want it a little bit shorter, so I'm going to cut a little bit of it off. So I just cut a little bit of it off and put just a little bit of glue and put that right in the middle. And that was the fin in the middle from the space shuttle, right? But now we need the flames from the rocket. So what I'm going to do, I don't know if you can see, I cut out a rectangle earlier, so I'm going to cut out another little rectangle. You don't need a lot for this part. And that's where if you use regular paper, you can always color it later. So just a little bit, and I'm going to cut them right in half, right in the middle. Ta-da! So I've got long flames. If they're too long again, you can always cut them. That's kind of the nice thing. You can go, I didn't like that long. So I'm gonna cut it just a little bit. Maybe I like it like that. Maybe I want a little bit thinner. If I want it a little thinner, I'll cut it more off the side. Well, that's kind of cool. So now it's time for me to glue it. So I'm gonna glue my flames on, because that's how the rocket gets flown through spaces, by having those flames shooting out to push it forward. So just a little bit of glue here. And voila, our art is done. How cool is that? I hope you enjoyed making the rain cloud and rain and rocket with me today. Now what I want you guys to do, I want you to go around your house and see what other art things you might find. Parents, I'm going to challenge you to try and make a meal featuring our foods. Maybe it's radishes, ravioli, I don't know. I think you guys can find something that's going to be pretty yummy though. Well, until next time, my friends, may God bless you and your families. Bye.